Afternoons with Helen Farmer.
You can contact the show on those numbers. We're also live on Facebook and we're talking about gut health. Tia Ma is with us, holistic health coach, talking about gut health. And we've got many messages, Tia, honestly. A lot of people out there suffering from a whole range of problems. And I'm not surprised. Everyone's a really stressed out bunch right now. And that's manifesting in, the way we've got talking about bloating and burping and all sorts. Let's go to Arjun's message, who says, I'm always bloated. I'm suffering with acid reflux. Nothing's changed in my diet, but my job has got more stressful.
Oh, poor Arjun. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we don't really understand how much stress impacts our gut, because when we're stressed out, our digestive system just shuts down, because it goes back to the whole prehistoric times when we're stressed and we perceive a threat, we're getting ready to run from it. So it's fight or flight mode. And that's one of the key areas that I look at with clients as well, is if you're miserable in your job, it's time to change it, because your gut is telling you something.
This is the woman that had six ulcers. So.
Exactly. But now I've learned, because I was so disconnected from my own body, that I didn't realize what was going on. And it's amazing in terms of holistic health how these kind of key areas of life can either make or break us and shape our digestion as well.
So if that's resonating with anyone going, okay, I'm bloated and I'm stressed, any advice for Arjun and anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, Arjun, I would suggest, firstly, in terms of food, you could do an elimination diet to see if there's anything particularly triggering you. I would start managing your stress. It may not be an option to leave your job, and that's totally fine. But bring in practices like meditation or yoga, or going out for walks in nature and things that actually fill up your cup. Because that's another thing. We live in this world where everybody takes our energy from us, and it's, we never fill up our own cup, and we need to learn to receive.
Breath work is something you are passionate about as well, and I know you do a lot of this on your social media as well. Why is this so linked to the gut?
Because again, as speaking about stress, when we breathe, we're very much breathing kind of from our chest area.
I'm now feeling really self-conscious. We're on Facebook Live. I'm like, let's do a bit of breathing. Okay, so we're breathing from too high, basically.
We're breathing too high, and this is stimulating the stress response system in us. So we're actually taking ourselves into fight or flight mode. If you ever look at a baby breathing, their belly rises up and down, and that's how we should actually be breathing. So what it does is it stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest phase. So that's where we want to live. So one key tip is, sometimes when we're sitting down to eat, we eat in such a stressful environment, or we're eating on the run. So what I would suggest is take 3 deep breaths and breathe down into the belly, and let the belly rise when you breathe in. And then as you exhale, let the belly fall so the navel comes towards the spine. And just taking a minute to just be present and anchoring into that is going to really help.
Even if I'm having a quesadilla al desco. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay, fine. So if I breathe before, everything's fine.
Absolutely.
Dan's been in touch saying I get diarrhea when I'm stressed or nervous. Does that mean my gut health is off kilter?
It depends. I mean, I guess if you're stressed or nervous,
a lot of people talk about this, like having a nervy tummy if you get up early to go to the airport, or before a presentation, and then it kind of compounds the nerves. Like, oh my goodness, what if I got to go in the middle of a presentation? Absolutely.
I mean, it's just kind of what you perceive as stress is then triggering in your stomach. I mean, I look at even today for me, I was excited and nervous to come here today, and my stomach went mad. So it's just kind of finding tools in your toolkit. I love to kind of help clients with this. It's like a little stress management toolkit and techniques to be able to help you to see things in perspective and to shift that and to work with the breath work and to calm ourselves down so that we're not constantly being triggered by that.
Now, I'm not a big fan of the word normal, but is there a normal range when it comes to the number 2s?
Yeah, I mean, I think we should poop once or twice a day. And usually the best thing to do is to be eliminating in the morning. So when you first get up in the morning, something I tell my clients to have, and it's saved my life, is warm lemon water, which stimulates the elimination. It also rehydrates us. It's our vitamin C boost in the morning. It's an amazing thing. So if we're not, we should be eliminating, because everything that we have been digesting kind of overnight is ready to leave the body.
What then is the link to metabolism? You know, some people are like, well, I've got a really slow metabolism. I don't actually go, you know, maybe a couple of times a week. Or people might be going, you know, more than 3 times a day.
Yeah.
When is it kind of cause for concern on either end of those scales? Speaking of ends.
Yeah, well, I think if you're not going, and some of my clients, you know, very much come to me because they can't go. And it may be because of lack of fiber. You know, dehydration is huge, because if we're not drinking enough water, and I even notice that myself, because I can tell when my body's dehydrated because I'm not able to eliminate as well. So things like that, maximizing your fruit and veggies and eating those carbohydrates as well. That's one thing.
Oh, I love anyone who tells us to eat a carb, because they've been demonized by. I'm guessing there's going to be. I mean, it's not about me having 3 rounds of toast and jam.
No,
it's a shame.
No. But when I'm talking carbohydrates, we're talking, you know, getting your veggies in. Your root veggies are going to be great. But what we want to try and do is stay away from the refined carbohydrates, which is white bread, you know, pasta, stuff like that that's made from flour, because that can clog us up.
Tia, can I ask you what you eat on a typical day? Because I know you've kind of transformed your life and your diet as a result of, you know, what you went through health-wise. And I think sometimes it can be really useful just to hear what people actually eat, because we can say, oh yeah, eat, you know, have, you know, chia seeds and have this. But when we put it together into the reality of meals, can you kind of paint us a bit of a picture? What did you have for your breakfast this morning?
I had oatmeal with fresh fruit, and I used some spices as well, because I know that's something that we mentioned. Spices are fabulous. They really actually help our gut as well. So things like ginger and fennel and cinnamon and things like this, they're very, very good for our health. So I had oatmeal with that. I do eat gluten-free, dairy-free and sugar-free.
Oh my days. The trifecta of misery in my book.
I know, but this is
But
why
it works for you.
It works so well for me, and my gut issues are gone, and I have so much energy. So it's such a huge thing to kind of be working in line with the body and with plants, and really leaning into that as well.
What about meat?
Yeah, okay. So that was one thing. So I was a vegetarian for a long time, and then I actually just recently reintroduced meat into my diet in order to get the vitamins and minerals that I needed, because I was deficient in that. And since I've done that, I eat organic, you know, sustainably raised meat, so that I'm not feeding into the kind of the factory farming, and also so that the meat itself isn't full of hormones and antibiotics.
Yeah, we're going to be talking antibiotics next. If you have been abused